Om Mahaganapataye Namaha. In this video, I'm going to discuss some practical applications of quantum physics, particularly around self-image. Now, your self-image is so important because the way it works is the image you hold of yourself gets projected out into your reality. So in other words, the way you think of yourself is how other people will perceive you, because we live in a world where they say we live in a hall of mirrors. Everything is a reflection of your consciousness on the outside. And so whether you want to call that the observer theory in quantum physics, they have other terminology in the yogic system as well. In general, it's all about the inner. And everything we experience around us is all just a reflection of the inside. So what are some practical applications of this self-imaging? Now this is something that I've just been drawn to, intuited, just popped in my brain. I've been kind of sticking with it, and I want to pass along to you, is that of using your imagination, because in quantum physics you have the observer theory, which is reality is simply the way it is observed, and that is an orientation of your mind. In the yogic tradition, they say there's only one rule, and that is you become as you think. And Einstein says imagination is more powerful than the intellect. All these things are connected. So using your imagination to shape your reality, and around the self-image, what I've been doing, what I've been called to doing, is seeing myself in the way that I want to be. So one thing that you have to train your mind to do is never try to always avoid focusing on the problem. Like you see yourself in there, it's like, oh, I don't like this part of me, or I don't like this. You always try to focus on what you want, because your mind is in a constant state of creation. You have to understand that all of your thoughts and your mind orientation, your perception, your feelings, these are all creative. They're creating your reality, or in some cases they are reinforcing a reality that you probably don't want. So I'll give you one example. There's a student of Dr. Ply's. She didn't like her nose, and she told Dr. Ply about it, and Dr. Ply just told her, just imagine the nose that you want. And in doing so, she eventually ended up getting plastic surgery and got this like perfect nose that she wanted, exactly how she wanted it. And so use self-image, because it doesn't have to necessarily come through plastic surgery. Like for example, weight loss, muscle tone, and what's is this real true? Is this true? Is there any proof of this? Yes, there is proof of this. Okay, in a previous video, I was talking about the placebo effect, which is demonstrating and baffling some scientists the power of mind over matter. So mind over matter is something we heard often, sometimes in the movies. Mind over matter, though, is actually turning out to be true in the realms of physics, or modern scientists, what I'm calling as physics, as in the physical sciences of the five senses. So we have some placebo studies where they'll have a group of people, and they'll tell them, okay, you're all going to have chemotherapy, and as a result of this chemotherapy, your hair is going to fall out. I think this was Norman Cousins who did this study. And so half the group they did the chemotherapy to. The other half of the group, they simulated giving the chemotherapy through a placebo, but it wasn't real chemotherapy. However, 35% of the people who got the simulated or fake chemotherapy that was made to appear to be real, their hair fell out. So their mind literally latched onto the fact that it believed in the concept that yes, they're getting chemotherapy, and yes, my hair is going to fall out. And because of that belief into that concept, their hair fell out. Similarly, there's other studies where they've done surgery. They've taken a group of people, I think it was like knee surgery or something like that, and you can go and research, there's tons of them, where they'll cut everyone's knee open, and half the people they'll do a real knee surgery, half the people they'll cut the knee open and they'll just sew it back up. They won't do any of the surgery. And a percentage of the people who get just the cut knee open and close with no surgery, their knee will heal. And they're dealing with this with all kinds of different medicines, and it's profound. It's showing the concept of mind over matter. So constantly visualize what you want to look like. I've actually been visualizing myself in the nude, just to be really upfront with it, and visualizing like the shape of the body that I want. Like, be really specific. Like, what kind of shape do you want your chest? What kind of arms do you want? What kind of body fat do you want? Like, how much definition do you want? And I've been noticing results like it's like I'll eat foods that you think, oh, sometimes it will make you gain weight, but then somehow I won't do it. And you could just experiment. When you see your face in the mirror, instead of like looking for the negative stuff, focus and orient your mind, because it's all about controlling your mind. Orienting and controlling your mind is manifestation, it is creation. So just remember that the way you think and the way you perceive is what you're going to experience. Practically speaking, you can literally wield your mind over matter if you believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, you have to just keep over and over and over focusing on it. So for example, like when I go to the bathroom, I don't chant mantras or do meditation because I consider it as disrespectful. So instead, I'll focus my mind on something practical, like what do I want my body to look like. Well, another way to do this is at the end of your meditation, when you get to like a end of the meditation, your mind's naturally calmer. Or for some more advanced people, you get to a point where your mind's totally still. You've gone to some part beyond the mind. That's a good time to plant a thought, and hold on to something, and then just let it go. And you just keep doing this over and over and over again. Just give it a try. So I wanted to pass this along. I hope this helps. As always, if you have any comments, feedback, or future video requests, please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification. God bless.